Hey, it's your boy Drizzleboy. We are back reacting to Legends DA trailer from the newest Nintendo Direct. Let's get started. The first thing I noticed is they're playing a bunch of battle sequences between Megas and all these different Pokemon, and it really looks like the Pokemon are actually battling each other. Compared to Scarlet and Violet, where it's almost like they're launching attacks from far range, now it looks like they're actually going to be in combat, which I think is super cool. More similar to Pokemon Unite, where it feels more like they're battling. I feel like Legend Arceus had something kind of similar, but wasn't on the same caliber as this. I'm like really excited to play this game because for once it feels like the creatures are actually battling each other. Not only that, but the VFX for the moves look phenomenal. I think the Pokemon themselves also look really great. I think that's one thing I noticed about this game is they put a lot of attention to detail into the characters and Pokemon more than the environment, I would say. I think that those look great, while the environment I still feel like is a little bit underdeveloped. My biggest issue with the graphics is the rendering of the grass. It looks like absolute dog shit, and I don't mean to be, disrespectful out here, but it actually looks awful. Like, it must be hell living in the Pokemon universe. You gotta go out there at 10 years old and explore the world, nearly die, but you also have to deal with pubic hair ass grass on the field. I'm not scared of a salamence, I'm scared of the wiggly worm grass. I see why Scarlet and Violet's doors are all locked. I wouldn't want to leave the house either. And then the grass painted on the ground, like the grass texture, that also looks bad. It's muddy as hell. It looks kind of chalky. I don't even know how to describe it, but they really fumbled with the grass. If I could get Pokemon on the phone right now, I would call them and say, hey, throw this all out. Like, everything else, you can keep that. The trees, the bushes, whatever. Delete the grass and replace it. It's not working. It's not working. Despite the living grass that will eat you and is coming to get you, there's some really good features announced in this trailer. They announced the ZA Royale, almost like a competition within the world where you're trying to climb the ranks to become the very best Pokemon trainer in the world. Not only does this feel like a huge step in the right direction, this sounds like a really fun concept. I feel like what the Switch era is missing is real challenge and also Pokemon trainers to battle. Scarlet and Violet, they was just sprinkled around the map and didn't really have any game design or balance to them. Legend Arceus had very few but memorable matches, and then Sword and Shield I feel like aged a lot better than we anticipated because I actually liked playing that game a lot more than Scarlet and Violet. But to keep a battle-oriented game that loses the gym concept, I'm okay with it. I'm actually fine with it. I do love Pokemon gyms. Like, I actually love them and I'm okay with them bringing them back. But to distance to a new idea is actually really interesting to me. The NPCs that you battle look more alive than they ever have in the past. They feel more like real trainers with their own goals. So at nighttime, the battle begins as you go through areas sprinkled with trainers all over the place, ready to battle. I like the idea that you're trying to hide and sneak around from trainers, but I didn't really like the idea that you could get the jump on them because it looked like, the player was just kind of one-shotting every Pokemon in the trailer. I hope that the balancing isn't too, weak, because I just feel like, again, it's like, okay, if you can get the jump on a trainer, but you're also one-shotting all their Pokemon, that's not really a fun or engaging battle system. There's a mechanic from Legend Arceus I hope they bring back, which is the one where Pokemon attack trainers. I think that was such a fun mechanic and made the world feel more lively and dangerous, but from all the footage we've seen, we haven't seen any Pokemon be aggro to the player. I hope they bring back that mechanic because it's definitely one of my favorites while playing Legend Arceus. I'm extremely excited for this more battle-oriented Pokemon game. I really feel like this is what we've been missing for a very long time, and I hope they continue to shift away from the traditional turn-based combat they've been using, because I actually think that it's becoming outdated, especially for young kids. I've tried to play Pokemon with my siblings, and a lot of times they just get bored. They actually, my younger sister, she prefers to play the older Pokemon games because the newer ones are just so damn slow. I really hope they relook at how they balance Pokemon and Pokemon stats. I do think that they're probably just going to copy and paste the old stats from the past in the same damage calculator, but I really feel like a system like this needs to be revamped in a way that balances for things like cooldown and usage lag and things like that, so that we can have a more balanced game. Even as a single player game, there is a sense of meta based on the team composition you bring in the solo player campaign, and so I hope that they balance it so that support Pokemon and weaker Pokemon tend to get a spotlight instead of just high stat Pokemon. I'm excited to see where this game goes. I hope they introduce new megas. I know there's been leaks. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm really excited to see where this game goes. Thanks for tuning in. It's your boy Drizzleboy, out.